guys, welcome to the Homestead. So today I'm out back at the Homestead. Just got back from a fishing trip with my youngest son. My oldest son is at the Love and Purity event that's being put on for Passover over the next week for Unleavened Bread, and I decided to take my youngest one fishing. We like to go fishing at this place called Rockbridge. I've done videos before on that in the past, and it's a great way to stock up on some trout, and you're going to pay less per pound by catching the fish yourself, and there's no limit. I just never saw the benefit of going to a place where you can only get 4 trout per day. And usually the trout are definitely a lot smaller. I grew up going to a place called St. James, Missouri. They have a trout place there at the Merrimack Springs, and yeah, you're limited to how many trout you can get per day, and you do okay there. But Rockbridge, you can basically get, I mean, the smallest fish you're going to get is probably going to be 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds. And I mean, I guess they overwintered a lot of their fish. And because they overwintered their fish, I guess there's not a lot of fishing that goes on in the wintertime. A lot of the lunkers you pull out are going to be, between 3 and 4 pounds. It wasn't odd to see people, checking in fish that were 7 or 8 pounds, easy. And so you're getting some really good fish, and you're paying about $5.50 per pound compared to farm raised trout. I saw prices anywhere from $8 a pound to $14 a pound or $15 a pound for farm raised trout online at local places you pick up trout at. Where at $5.50 a pound is a lot cheaper, live weight, and you get the fun of catching them, and the memories created with that with your kids, and it's just a good place. But it's a pretty fun time. And we got a lot of fish. We got I think we got 13, 14 fish, and that'll last us for a little while. Put them in the freezer and pull them out when you want to cook them up, and it's good eating. So we had a lot of fun doing that. I think the biggest fish I caught was about a 5.5 pound fish, and I think the biggest fish that Caleb got was about over 4 pounds. So we had a fun time doing that today, the last couple days actually. Anyway, so we're back at the Homestead, and I came out because I heard from a friend that the mushrooms were popping up. There's a lady locally here who her name's Amanda, and she has her spots, for the morel mushrooms. And apparently I heard from the grapevine, everyone around here, hears when Amanda first starts picking her mushrooms, and news travels fast, and so you start looking at your spots. And so I went out to my spot to see if I could find any, and no, nothing yet. So usually it's about mid-April before we start finding our morel mushrooms, and I'm looking around, and I'm just now seeing the mayaples starting to pop up on the forest floor. So usually it's about mid-April before I start seeing any, and I've never really found a lot of mushrooms where I live here. Usually the ones I find are the dark ones. Now, back when I lived in St. Louis, we used to search the Merrimack River bottoms, and we'd find all kinds of whites there, and you get a sack full pretty good, pretty easy, just by walking through the river bottoms. But I know some people up in northern Missouri, man, they get Kirksville, Missouri. They just get them by the bucket loads. I've never found mushrooms like that. But anyway, I figured I'd come out and look, and nothing to see yet so far. At least the one spot that I have picked out where I usually find my darks, and I've never found a lot of whites, but I hadn't found any today. Anyway, I'm watching the news like you all are and seeing all the insanity going on in the world. I got a comment the other day in one of my videos saying, "How does it feel to be a doomer and gloomer? Not one of your predictions has panned out, not one." Something along those lines. And I'm like, what world are you living in? What rock are you living under? I don't understand what you're talking about. I've been saying for years that inflation is going to go up, and inflation has gone up over the last couple of years for sure, and it's going to only increase. We have reports that Brazil and China are making deals now without the petrodollar, for energy prices or for energy products, and France and China are now making deals without the petrodollar. Guys, those dollars that nations used to use are going to be repatriated home, and it's already starting. China has already started dumping the dollar, and Japan is now making deals with Saudi Arabia outside of using the dollar. What do you mean nothing's coming? Nothing's happening like I said. It's happening right now. What rock are you living under? And that's only going to increase. It's happening. I don't understand. I mean, there's so many things that are happening, and we're watching the news about a president being indicted under 34 counts of 34 whatever it is felony counts. Guys, he'll probably get indicted. You know, after it all said, it's stupid. But no matter how the court system works, they're probably going to stick at least one or two of those counts to him. And so what are they going to do? They're going to throw a former president in jail? I mean, we might see that. The doors have now been opened for that. And people are like, well, you know, he's just not the right person for this coming election. We need to find someone else, and everyone's picking like DeSantis. Guys, the mail-in ballot issue has not been fixed. There's no way you're going to find someone to fix this system because they're not going to allow it. Those states that still have mail-in ballots legally acceptable, those swing states will never go the direction you want them to because we all know what happens at 2 a.m. It's a mess. It's a complete and total mess. And again, I tell you to find a place where you can get your family, find a hole and crawl down in it. You know, foxholes, the purpose of a foxhole is to avoid enemy fire. Or if explosions go off, artillery, mortars, you can get down in that foxhole and the blast will go over your head. It's the same thing for what's coming in America today right now. Find yourself a hole, get your family, and crawl down in it. Because that's the best way you're going to be able to withstand what's coming. And in places with low population density and places where you can grow some of your own food, be a producer, and make things on your own, you're going to have a better chance of surviving and withstanding some of the insanity that's coming. You think it's insane now. I'm telling you. I mean, how do you figure none of the things I've talked about are coming true? Not one. What? I don't know where your place in life is if you think that, or what your belief or ideology is. You have to be living under a rock, or you have to be in a place where you don't see the same values that many of us believe in, or some of the same values that we value. What a mess. Best thing you can do is just prepare and keep focused on being a producer and growing some of your own food and being more self-sufficient. And food storage is important for sure, but producing your own is important also as well, because you can't store everything forever. You can have a year supply or 6 months worth of supply of food and have a way to filter water, but if you don't have a way to continue on with some of the things that are coming down the pike, I don't see what you're going to do. Just coming out and foraging and looking for mushrooms, that's a food source. Planting things on your property that allow you to produce more food. Anyway, a lot of things going on in the world today, and there's not really a lot you can do about it except watch the show. But that's what we're doing here. Thinking about some different things with the homestead and some of the things we can be doing. Our sheep herd is doing rather well. All the time and effort we put into it. They're growing and producing babies, and our chickens are doing good. And yeah, I don't know. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about what's going on in the world today. I know a lot of people it seems in my Twitter feed are really depressed, and they're really sad about what they're seeing and the direction our country's going. I don't know what to tell you, except what I've been telling you. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about all the stuff that's happening in the world right now today. All right. We'll be back here shortly. You guys take care. Love y'all. And I'll talk to you soon. See you next time in the homestead. Bye. What do you want to bet that there's an animal that lives in this hole right here? You can kind of tell because there's no leaf litter nearby. There's lots of droppings. Yeah, lots of droppings. And then up in the hole here, yeah, I bet there's an animal that lives up in this tree somewhere. I can reach my hand in there and see. I don't want to get it chewed off. But I bet something is living in this tree. Let me step back here, you can look at it. This is near the spot. Around this tree is usually where we find a lot of our mushrooms, but just nothing out here today. I just don't see anything. But if you found any morels where you live, leave a comment below. Leave me a location about where you're at. And that might help some others know that it's time or getting close to the time to go out and start looking. But around here is usually a good place where we find a lot of our mushrooms. And just nothing coming up yet. But I'll be back out here in a few days to check again after this weather that's coming in passes. So, bye guys.
Alexander the Great. Did you know when he died, his body was placed in a coffin made of solid gold? Decades later, Ptolemy X and Cleopatra III stole the coffin and gold artifacts just so they could pay their war debts. Germany, at the time of World War II, stole all of the gold they could get their hands on, and much of it still today has not yet been accounted for. You see, all throughout history, when times get tough, people, either good or bad, seek real wealth. They turn to gold and silver. The central banks and Wall Street cheerleaders would have you believe that gold and silver are just shiny rocks with no real value. But did you know that central banks around the world have for the last year been buying record amounts of gold and silver for stockpiling? Stockpiling for what? What do they know that they're not telling us? Genesis Gold Group is a proud supporter of an American homestead. They help people get out of locked-in 401ks and IRAs into something that's real, physical gold and silver. If you're going to be locked into something, it might be a good idea to talk to Genesis Gold Group about being locked into something physically vaulted instead of just a piece of paper that at the end of the day is just that, a piece of paper. It's a clear surety that our economy is headed for turbulent waters. The nation is currently over $31 trillion in debt, and Congress keeps spending money and the Fed keeps printing it. That does not bode well for anyone keeping and saving money in savings accounts or paper-denominated assets. Call Genesis Gold Group today, this instant, or visit them online at genesisgoldgroup.com. They can put together a strategy that's right for you. And be sure to say that you heard about them from an American homestead.
Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the homestead that we make here on the homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.